Hi, welcome back to another Fresh Look Friday. I'm Lora from the Lake Villa District Library, and today I have some young adult fiction books, and they are all science fiction. So if you like outer space, time travel, virtual reality, technology, these are the books for you. So I'm going to start with this one. This is one of the favorite books, my favorite books I've ever read. When I read this, when it came out, a little bit after it came out, I needed the sequel immediately. So much so that I ended up buying the ebook because it was nighttime. There was no library open. I couldn't find the digital edition. I just needed to know what happened next right away. This is called Illuminae. It's the first book in the Illuminae files. It takes place in 2575, so very far away. We are now populating other planets. There's space travel. It's all in outer space. Katie is our main character, and the book starts with her breaking up with her boyfriend, Ezra. And the breakup does not go well. It's not great, right? And there's two big mega corporations. These mega corporations kind of like dominate outer space. And they end up going to war over this tiny little planet. This planet that Katie and Ezra are on, and they need to escape immediately from all this hostile fire, right? So they get in a spaceship, they are flying off into space, being chased by this other corporation that's after them, and they're on the spaceship together. They have to start working together, which is super awkward because they just broke up. And on top of all of that, a plague hits the population of people on the spaceship. And it's a very nasty mutating plague. They can't figure out how to treat it, what's going on. It's taking over everything, and it's very deadly. So there's lots of action going on. There's lots of space things going on. And the best thing about this book is that it's just told in texts, in different voices, in found files. There's redactions. It's very cool. It's an awesome way to read a book. It might look pretty thick, but because of the way it's told, it goes very, very fast. And then, as things start to really unravel, the AI in charge of their spaceship starts to turn on them. Is he a good AI? Is he a bad AI? Will he help them or will he hurt them? It's the third character in this book that you really, really want to know about, Illuminae. Next, we have Little Brother. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I read it when it came out, and I still think about it. Our main character is Marcus. He's a teenager. He's a hacker. He's very good at it. He can hack into lots of different things. And he ends up skipping school one day with his friends. And they have a great day, whatever. But when they come back into their normal days, they realize that there has been a terrorist attack on San Francisco where they live. A very big deal terrorist attack. And they get pulled in by the Department of Homeland Security, Marcus and all his friends, as suspects because they are known as such good hackers. They are held for days, interrogated for days by the Department of Homeland Security. When they are finally released to go back home, their home is no longer the same. It's like a police state. It's military everywhere. There's checkpoints. You can't walk around freely anymore, all because of this terrorist attack and what the Department of Homeland Security says that they found. So now Marcus and his friends are starting to wonder, is Homeland Security really who they say they are? Are they really doing what they're supposed to be doing? And so what unfolds is this investigation of these teenagers that are really good with computers and trying to figure out who's the good guy in this situation. Little Brother. Next, we have a retelling. So normally retellings aren't very science fiction-y, right? This one is because it takes place in space. So we have Once and a Future. Just take a moment and pause and look at how awesome this cover is. Isn't it cool? I'm obsessed with it. It's great. So Once and Future is a retelling of the King Arthur tale. The twist here, it's in space, right? In the future, in space, but Arthur in the story is actually Ari, a girl. So we're getting this from a like female perspective, which I think is very, very interesting. So Ari is also a refugee from a planet that was destroyed, and she has to stay hidden. These refugees are not welcome, so she keeps her identity like on the down low. Events transpire. She ends up having to run and crash land on Earth, which has not, people don't go to Earth anymore. It's just not, people don't go there. It's an ancient resting place, really. And there she stumbles upon Merlin. And it's Merlin who has been reincarnated over and over and over again from the very first Merlin. And he knows that Ari is destined to do great things and that needs to convince her to go on this quest. And she will hear nothing of it because she has other things to do, other people to help. And Ari just doesn't care what this kookadook Merlin is saying. This is a great retelling. You don't really have to know all the details of the Arthurian legend to understand this story. I don't, and I still really enjoyed it. There is a sequel, super, super diverse group of cast. You will find someone to relate to. It was just a very unique, spacey fantasy telling, once and future. Then we're going to switch over to the video game world. This is called Otherworld. This is written by Jason Segel. Otherworld is a game. It's a virtual reality game. It's a very, very intense virtual reality game. It's also very costly. You have to have lots of money to play this game. It is so intensive that when you are in Otherworld, your physical body is like laying down prone. It's got the goggles, the suit on, like you aren't connected to your physical body anymore. And that's the danger here, because Otherworld is so addictive. People will stay in Otherworld for days and just leave their physical body untouched, without food, without nourishment, without hygiene. It can get intense. Our main character, Simon, manages to scrape together some money to play Otherworld. And he does this for one reason and one reason only. His friend Kat has been in an accident. And the makers of Otherworld are testing this new thing out. It's this new headset that they put on Kat because this accident was so bad, she's now paralyzed. So she cannot live the life that she once did. And they're keeping her unconscious and send her into Otherworld. And that's where she lives her life, in some place called the White City. And Simon can't reach her in Otherworld anymore. And that's worrying him. They won't let him see her physical body either. So something is definitely shady going on. So he enters Otherworld for the quest to complete the game, to find Kat, to see what really is the White City and what's going on. Twists and turns in this book, very action-packed. I really liked the idea of this alternate virtual reality, but you're still tethered to the physical realm and you have no control over that. Very cool, Otherworld. My final book today is called Alone Out Here. Another space book. This is my newest one that I'm sharing with you today. I really, really enjoyed it. I listened to this on Libby. Year 2072. So this starts very apocalyptic dystopian, which is like my cup of tea. So I was really into this. There's a volcano on Earth that is predicted to erupt and be catastrophic, destroy the planet. But we have time. We have time to plan. Our main character here is Lee. And Lee is the first daughter of the United States. Her mother is the president. So she's very aware and has been privy to a lot of conversations and plans. The world is trying to work together to prepare a way to survive Earth or leave Earth. And one plan is this gigantic spaceship called the Lazarus. So the Lazarus has been built to sustain life for many, many years to find a different planet. And because this takes place so far in the future, there has already been a lot of space exploration, so they know a lot about what planets are habitable and what aren't. So Lee is at the Lazarus. She is there touring it with a whole bunch of other teenagers of other prominent world leaders. The thing is, the world is kind of falling apart, right? So we have this gigantic volcano. So instead of working together, sometimes there's wars breaking out about who can be on the Lazarus, who gets to decide what. So it's like very, very, we don't know who's good and who's bad. And Lee is there with all the sons and daughters of these world leaders traveling the touring the Lazarus. And then the volcano erupts way before it was predicted to. Leah's just lucky that she was on the Lazarus at the time with all these teenagers. Through a series of events, only teenagers, about 50 of them, are left on the Lazarus when it launches. So now these 50 teens are in space on this life-saving spaceship trying to get to a planet because the Earth is destroyed. And things get complicated. So they're all sons and daughters of very prominent people. They all have very distinct lives, very distinct skills, and they have to work together to try and survive. There's a lot of social aspect involved here, a lot of cool space talk involved, a lot of science. And I'm not a super sciencey person, but I did really enjoy this book alone out here. That's all I have for you today. If none of those appeal to you, we have a whole bunch of other science fiction books for young adults, lots and lots of options. We have book lists like this for lots of different genres here at the library, so come in and check it out and we can help you find something. See you next time.